Nemco. How hypocritical are you? A self-assessment. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. We're all hypocritical at times, but when it crosses the line into laughable, well, how hypocritical are you? For each of the following descriptions, rate yourself mega hypocritical, hypocritical, mini hypocritical, or saintly. Number 1, diversity. You claim to celebrate diversity, to be open-minded and inclusive, yet your friends, where you live, the media you consume, and where you send your kids to school, those are all mainly of your demographic and your core ideology, liberal or conservative. You're not averse to bashing half the population based on their gender, men. If you hear men suck, you're more likely to agree, or at least stay quiet, than if someone said women suck, let alone blacks suck. If you're in a position to select what gets published somewhere, you include mainly material of your own persuasion, thereby censoring divergent views. You may crow that a strength of public schools is diversity, yet if your child would be attending a diverse public school, if you can afford private, you may spend the fortune and your child won't bask in public school diversity. When you're walking alone at night on a quiet street and can choose between the side with a young black man and an old Asian woman, you don't choose at random, especially if you are an older Asian woman. Birds of a feather tend to flock together. Except maybe for hired help, you've not had someone of a different demographic or a different social class live with you. So, choose one. Regarding diversity, are you mega hypocritical, hypocritical, mini hypocritical, or saintly? Number 2, the environment. You claim to care about the environment, but you consume like an anti-environmentalist. You live in a home larger than you need, have more clothes than you need. Although you claim to support mass transit, you claim to like Al Gore, despite his extreme consumerism, even after upgrades when shamed by the GOP. His mammoth mansion complex uses 21 times the average homeowner's amount of energy use. And you hate Elon Musk, despite Doge's trying to eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse of your tax dollars. Yet you drive and fly around with impunity. You may even drive a Tesla, which, despite your anti-Musk bumper sticker, is a heavy car and thus resource-hogging car. For example, it uses rare metals imported from China. Regarding environment versus genes, while you claim environment's important, you're more likely to choose a poodly dog or a terrier dog or a golden retriever or a Labrador than a pit bull. So choose one. Regarding the environment, are you mega hypocritical, hypocritical, mini hypocritical, or saintly? Number 3, you claim to be ethical, even kind. Yet, if you think you can get away with it, you may not be above cutting corners. That's especially likely if you're in marketing, sales, or its non-profit equivalent fundraiser. If you're a journalist or a politician, you may stretch the truth to make your point. Though you claim to value government, you may cheat on your taxes. You might even shoplift. So, regarding ethics, choose one. Are you mega hypocritical, hypocritical, mini hypocritical, or saintly? Number 4, community. You claim to care about community. You may even now use the word community instead of the more individualistic neighborhood. You like phrases like together, all in, and we, not me. And you like the socialist who is likely going to be the next mayor of New York City, Goran Mamdani, as well as multimillionaire socialist Bernie Sanders. Why doesn't he give even half his wealth to the poor that he claims to care so much about? Speaking of the poor, if you're a Christian, you claim to care about the poor. Yet, in how you spend your time and money, how well you listen to other people, as opposed to talking about yourself, you're mainly an individualist, taking care of number 1, especially if it's important. For example, if you want to see the doctor, even for a not quite urgent matter, you might plead your case to be seen sooner, even though that is cutting ahead of other people. So, choose one. Regarding community, are you mega hypocritical, hypocritical, mini hypocritical, or saintly? And finally, number 5, affirmative action. You claim to support affirmative action. Yet you may blame affirmative action when you get passed over for a job or your child for a prestigious university. If you're in a position to hire, you may resist pressure to hire a, quote, diversity candidate. Indeed, Congress has exempted itself from affirmative action. And by the way, for this and some other assertions, I will have citations for each in the text version of this, and I'll have a link below. Okay. And you support affirmative action unless it's a group that's out of favor. For example, you support affirmative action to recruit, train, and empower more women in STEM, but not when men have the deficit, even the ultimate deficit. Men die 6 years earlier than women, a bigger gap than ever, and live that shorter life in worse health. Yet, the National Institutes of Health, the major source of health research funding, spends much more on women's health than on men's. And we're far more likely to see yet another run for breast cancer than for heart attack, the number one and earlier killer of men. Despite men having that ultimate deficit, dying younger and living sicker, what we get is glib advice to see the doctor more, when in fact, the main cause is gender difference in cardiovascular degeneration. Estrogen does protect. And would celebrants of affirmative action toss up, see the doctor more, to address the issue that blacks live shorter? So, regarding affirmative action, choose one. Are you mega hypocritical, mini hypocritical, or saintly? And now, in light of your answers, are you A, proud of yourself, B, ashamed but sure, that's just what people are, or C, going to try to reduce your hypocrisy? In any event, that's How Hypocritical Are You? A self-assessment. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. And certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 35 books. Probably the most relevant to this is A Dose of Reality, but all 35 are on Amazon. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.